Hi, you are on the channel A Brief Retelling, and today I will tell you about the movie Mean Machine. Enjoy watching. Danny Meehan, nicknamed Bonecrusher, former captain of the England national football team. He's bored in retirement, and to add to the thrill of life, he drives a car at high speed, simultaneously drinking whiskey from a bottle. Going into the bar, he took another drink and was rude to the police, and then gave them a slap in the face. For beating police officers and driving under the influence of alcohol, Danny received 3 years in prison. The football player's career ended very quickly when he was accused of organizing match fixing. In prison, the warden Hatchie immediately made it clear that Danny was nobody here. The prisoners crowded in to shout and curse to greet a former football star because he betrayed his country for money. Danny was brought to the head guard, Mr. Burton. Tomorrow, the chief warden of the prison will talk to him and offer the celebrity to coach the prison football team, but he will have to refuse. And so that the football player didn't confuse anything, Hatchie hit him with a baton. Danny was shown his prison cell and then taken to the workstation. He and the doc will clean up garbage on the territory, for example, shit wrapped in paper, which prisoners throw out of windows at night. Doc sent an assistant to the famous bandit and shadowy owner of the prison, Charlie Sykes, who is serving a 30-year sentence. He lost a lot of money at the match between England and Germany when one player suspiciously missed, punching a penalty. So Danny owes him. In the dining room, the newcomer was emotionally greeted by the psychopath Nitro, who he says he can get anything for him. Masa, a competitor of Nitro, sat down at the table with Danny. He can offer him both chocolate and soft toilet paper. Danny was placed with an Iranian and 2 black guys. Like all the other prisoners, they don't like him. A chained, pumped-up prisoner was brought out into the courtyard. This is the legendary monk from Broadhurst. He sat down half a year ago, but he is still kept in a separate compartment. They say he killed 23 people, and that was before he started doing karate. Even the guards don't touch him. As promised, Danny was brought to the warden. He praises his semi-professional football team. This year they have a chance to win the league and climb higher, and it is Danny's experience that can help them in this. But as previously ordered, Danny refused. The boss realized that Burton was putting sticks in his wheels, and he was tired of investing money in the team and not getting a return. In the dining room, Kitschy accosted Danny, but it didn't come to a fight. They were pulled apart by the guards. Burton sprayed a football player in the eyes with pepper spray, and only he was taken to solitary confinement. The warden is constantly betting on sport. Danny asks not to touch him. He just wants to do his time. Then it is not clear why he attacks prisoners and guards. The old man ordered him to be returned to the punishment cell. Mesa feeds him there, and he also suggested Danny to hold a match between prisoners and guards. Supposedly, it would be the best training for them. This option suited both the chief and the senior guard. Masa is happy with his idea, and Nitro says that he could also become a professional, but there is one problem. He really likes to make bombs.
What? I could have been a pro, you know. I was good. I was very good. In fact, they were going to take me on. I only had a bit of trouble and blah, blah, blah.
The old knees, I suppose, yeah.
Bomb making. Otherwise, you know.
Well, I'm sure it was a big loss to the game. I've got to go, but I'll catch you later.
The betting fan has problems. He just lost 5,000 pounds. Ratchet constantly scolds Masu, right now, for making a new friend. Danny wanted Sykes' people on his team, but the boss forbade them to play with him. There was also a Danny fan in prison, who even wears a t-shirt with his name on it. Billy asks to teach him all sorts of feints. Danny also noticed the strange things that are happening in prison. Doc explains to him that Sykes tells the boss what bets to make in exchange for newspapers. But newspapers are not simple, but soaked in acid. So in fact, the chief turns a blind eye to the supply of prohibited substances to the prison. Nitro turned into a snitch. He offers to share important information if he is transferred to a prison with better conditions. Danny overheard their conversation.
Oh look, a monkey learning new tricks.
Why don't you just leave me alone, man?
Because I don't like uppity coons. That's why.
Listen, man.
No, you listen! Ah!
Ratchet continues to mock Masa, and when he snapped back, the guard began to beat him with a baton. No one but Danny stood up for him. He was immediately tied up and thrown into the punishment cell. Massa threw him a ball so that his friend wouldn't go crazy. Since Danny is a valuable prisoner, he was soon released and brought to the field. There he was met by dark-skinned guys in gratitude that he saved Massa. They are ready to become part of the prisoners' team. Danny and his manager Massa put players are rated according to their abilities. Danny's neighbors are especially good. Sykes' right-hand man, the Scot, also doesn't mind punishing the guards, but the boss wouldn't let him. The bookmaker bandit threatens the boss that if he does not return 5,000, then his arms and legs will be broken. He found a canister in the car, and the car itself was doused with gasoline. Nitro wants to take Massa's place, believing that he will make a better manager. Danny refused.
Massive's manager.
Yeah, I know, but I'm better than him because, well, I had trials, didn't I? So.
We all had trials, mate. That's why we're here.
It's good that Nitro likes him, because he once blew up 5 people. It was not possible to infiltrate the Nitro team, but somehow he must harm Danny. Then the Fuse lied to Ketch that the football player had become friends with the head of security and handed them over. Together with the Scotsman, they grabbed Danny and were going to cut out his eye. But the football player fought back, and when the guards entered, he did not hand over the attackers, and by this he proved that he was not a snitch. After that, the Scot apologized and offered himself and several other good players to participate in the team. So that Sykes wouldn't arise, Danny offered him a deal: bet on the game and choose for yourself what the outcome of the match will be. He shamed the football player for surrendering the national team, but suggested that he would most likely bet on the prisoners' team. Billy really wants to get into the team, and Danny did not upset his fan. The boss complained to Sykes that the bookmaker he recommended was threatening him, and he's broke right now because he invested all his money in a team of jailers. Doc told why he's been here longer than the others. One guy wanted to bend him in the wild, and he took a grenade that he had left after the war and threw it through the window to the bastard. He did not know that his wife and 1-year-old child were in the house. This is a crime he will never atone for. Sykes thought and gave the go-ahead for his people to participate, but there is one condition. Danny will fight with his man so that no one will think that they became friends just like that. Psycho Nitro already hated his idol, and Hatchie transferred him to solitary confinement so that the snitch would not be killed. Danny was supposed to fight with Gentle Nick, but he's not feeling well, so the football player will fight with a big guy, a catcher, who has 30 wins and no defeats. The chained fighters will take turns hitting each other in the face, and after each blow, drink local moonshine. Catch is in jail for grievous bodily harm, and his punches are much more crushing than Danny's punches. Besides, he knows some tricks, but Bonecrusher's jaw was strong enough, as is his resistance to alcohol. And Catch passed out, getting hit in the face with a mug of moonshine. That's how Danny enlisted the support of Sykes' people. Now need the players to play and learn tactics, but all they know how to do is not spare themselves and break their rivals.
When it comes to defending, it's about tackling, finesse, calculation. Now remember these simple rules and we're in with a chance. Any questions?
It remains to find a goalkeeper, and the Scot unexpectedly offered a monk. He could have turned professional if he hadn't gone crazy. Rumor has it that he ate a maniac cannibal. For a scumbag, Sykes came to negotiate personally because the monk needs to be pulled out of a special sector. For this, he hints to the boss that he should bet on the guards, and so he will earn a lot of money. The monk at first refused to play, but after learning that they would play against the guards, he changed his mind. During the training, the monk was enraged by the Mohawk, and he broke his nose, and then added that it happened by accident. Danny promises Burton that his team will give them a hard time. Guards and prisoners are constantly training. Both of them treat training responsibly. Sykes notifies Danny that a lot of money is at stake for the match and the convict team must win. The Scotsman, with the help of the monk and Bill, shows dirty tricks that they can use against the guards. When Billy volunteered, he did not know that there would be as many as 23 receptions and he would barely survive them. Hatchie demands from Nitro that he do something with Danny, otherwise he will transfer him back to the common cell, where he will be slaughtered for snitching. Nitro started assembling the bomb. The warden's secretary is crazy from Danny. She gave him videos of the guards' games and dossiers on them, and he paid for it in kind. While at the meeting, the prisoners are discussing the weaknesses of the guards, which they now know about. Nitro planted a bomb in the football player's locker. Danny forgot some of his notes, and Doc volunteered to bring them. When the old man went to his cell, Danny confessed that he leaked the match then because popularity turned his head. He spent money, and one day he owed serious people. He had a choice either not to score a penalty or to remain disabled. At that moment, an explosion occurred in the prison. Hatchie gave Nitro to sign the transfer papers to another prison, but in fact, he will be taken to a prison psychiatric hospital from where he will never get out. The prisoners said goodbye to the doc.
I reckon you quits now, old man.
Danny polished his boots. The day of the match has come. The whole prison welcomes the team. Burton tells his players not to succumb to the prisoners' provocations. They have to show their superiority with skill and win cleanly. Danny also addressed his team. If they win, they will remember it all their lives. Many prisoners would like to be in their place. Sykes took the floor. He said that Doc had been saving money all his life and bought a uniform for the team. So that all prisoners know what is happening on the field, two of them comment on the match. The teams took to the field, and the form of the Bonecrackers looks like cooler. Danny asked the men to avoid dirty play and act like that only in response, but as soon as the referee's whistle sounded, both teams began to act dirty at once.
Come on, take him out, son!
And Trojan evades Marsden brilliantly.
If only he could have done that the night he got nicked.
The guards were the first ones close to taking the gate. During the retaliatory attack, Danny was mowed down by the head of security. Danny's free kick was effective. The ball hit Hatchet right in the groin. The next blow was aimed in the same direction. At one point, the monk left his gate and ran to the front, and no one would dare to tell him to go back. Players knock down opponents and pull them by their t-shirts. During the free kick, the ball ricocheted and flew dangerously towards the monk's goal. The beast forgot himself and imagined how he would turn on the berserker mode to destroy all the guards. But he gathered himself in time and saved the gate. One of the prisoners brought the ball almost to the goal and gave a pass, but the Iranian did not get his crown shot through himself. But Danny closed the pass and scored the first goal of the match. There are 5 minutes left until the end of the half. The monk continues to run around the field like a regular fielder. At some point, the match turned into an all-against-all mekach. Even the commentators grappled. That was the end of the first half. Sykes lies to the boss that he asked the prisoners to merge the game, but they do not obey. The Mohawk's nose was broken again and Billy will replace him. The boss is indignant. He threatens the jailers with dismissal if they lose. He also approached Danny and began to blackmail him. He lied that Nitro confessed to the murder and said that it was Danny who sent Doc to his cell, which means he is an accomplice of the killer, and they will give him 20 years for this. So it's better for his team not to win. In the second half, Danny started making mistakes in defense, losing the ball and not giving passes. The unpredictable monk is on a roll again. In a special mode, he repels blow after blow with the help of unreal flips and jumps. The fight continues on the field, and Billy demonstrated what a sucker he is in football. He constantly loses the ball and is not able to hit the goal even from a few meters. During the skirmish, the guard spat on the back of the Iranian's head. It was too much, and the guy just gave the offender in the face. For it, he received a straight red. The prisoners remained in the minority. The monk got more work, but at least he stopped running away from his own gates. Troy did all the work again and made a pass to catch. He struck superbly, and the goalkeeper could not do anything. Score was 2-0 in favor of the prisoners. However, the monk played too much and started dancing with the ball at the line of his penalty area. The opponent did not forgive him for such audacity, and the guards closed the gap in the score. Everyone was shocked that the monk admitted his mistake. Another ball almost flew into his goal. The prisoners were upset. Danny looks especially lousy. He pretended to be injured. Burton does not like this behavior of the opponent.
You're cheating now, are you? Once a loser, always a loser, eh, man?
Mesa is also disappointed. He didn't think the captain would sell them, but he's not making a replacement yet. And 11 guards are confronted by 9 prisoners. The score was 2-2. Danny changed his mind and went on the field to win. However, the team no longer believes in him. Troy didn't give him a pass during the attack, so Danny had to do everything himself. He's running all over the field. Meanwhile, the monk again tested the strength of Hetchett's crotch. The ball flew into the gate of the guards, but the goal was cancelled due to the fact that Hetchett had been injured earlier. A free kick was awarded to the monk's goal, and the maniac coped with it. The ball was kicked into the center of the field, where there was only Danny and one defender, whom he beat. He went out one-on-one with the goalkeeper, who knocked him down, but Danny got up and stopped with the ball right at the gate. He did not score himself, but allowed crooked-legged Billy to do it, and he hit the empty gate with all his might. The prisoners came forward right before the final whistle. They have won. The boss approached Danny and promised to ruin his life, but Burton stood up for him and thanked the football player for a good game. At that moment, the boss's car blew up into the air. It's the bookmaker who sends him greetings. That's all for today. If you liked it, subscribe and like it.